Welcome back, Elden Ring fans, to another video. And in today's video, this is my strength build. I'm actually really proud to show this off because this is a build that I don't see a lot of people doing, and I get a lot of kills with this build. This build is insane. It's so diverse. I can use almost every weapon in the game. But if you're a strength build, this is the ultimate strength build. I do not I'm not somebody who goes out there and, boasts about their build, but this build is insane. You can do anything you basically want to with it. So let's get into the build. There's two main requirements that I have just personally as my own build. This is a 150, but you can do a lower level build with this. You just have to be a little bit more spacious with your leveling. We have two requirements. The jar ring, so that I am able to actually, the Great Jar Arsenal, so I'm able to actually roll with bigger, heavier weapons and more armor, but also we do have the Erd Tree Favor +2 because that helps with the equip load while it gives us health and endurance. So it's not entirely a necessary thing to have, but those are my two personally for this build. We are going to do a level 56 Vigor. We're going to keep our mind low because weapon arts are already OP, so you don't really need too much mind. We do have a 35 or 36 for endurance because the Jar Arsenal helps with that, but we do have 80 strength. 80 strength is important because as you watch, my weapons do go up. I use my weapons, I put them in the stats. Like I put the first one, I put the straight sword that's heavy, I put a claymore that's heavy, and I put a great sword that's heavy to see how much the max damage I can actually get with it. But strength is really OP compared to dexterity. Dexterity, when you level it up, it only caps at about 30 on defense. So when you're leveling up strength, your defense goes up. And absorption is a very important thing, but defense is more important than absorption. Way more important. So with that defense being so high, this build is such a tank. I can equip more than one weapon. That's huge. I can equip up to 3 weapons, jar cannon, a whole bunch of stuff. And you'll see I have a couple of other weapons that are with this, but right now, we're running through, we're going and we're challenging enemies, but I'm going to display some of the damage type, but you have to understand how I balance this character around my specific items. So like I can use anything. Anything is good with this build. I have 22 dex. 22 dex is very important for this build. So that's why I said not to skip anything in the video because it is so important. 22 dexterity is the mostly minimum or height requirement for most weapons that you see. About every weapon, twin blades, poles, everything that's kind of dex based scales with the 22 dexterity. You need it as a requirement. So I do have that, and that's why I don't have 99 or 92 when it comes to strength. But that allows me to open up my diversity when it comes to weapons. I can use, as you can see, a halberd. I can use a pole arm. I can use a whole bunch of stuff. But there are some top prioritized weapons that you can use. You can buff your weapon in case somebody is when it comes to PvP, because I do PvP, if somebody's using high absorption armor to physical damage, and they maybe eat a prawn, which increases more physical damage, or they drink a flask, any kind of buff you can use. Obviously, these greases are super, super OP. I do over 1,000 AR with some of the weapons I shouldn't be doing 1,000 AR with. I'm pretty sure I do 900 to almost 1,000 with this halberd, and that's nuts. That's insane. And I'm wearing bull goat armor. You can take weight versus the amount of weapons you have. So I naturally like to wear the samurai gear with a bit of Rodin's gauntlets and leggings, and then the Banished Knight helmet. That's my personal favorite, besides a couple of other armor sets. But this is for this build particularly because it lets me wield dual ultras. It lets me do a whole bunch of crazy stuff, and I still have good absorption, but my defense because of strength is super, super high. So if I wanted to, if I was worried about getting one shot by magic, I just eat a magic thing. I get a buff from magic, but this is damage. You do a lot of damage. These wolves are not weak to magic, not necessarily. They're weaker to fire and stuff like that. But with this weapon art that I put on there, because weapon arts are important, it allows me to use fire and magic, which is a split damage, which you think would be bad, but because of the scaling in this game, it doesn't really matter. Sometimes it works both ways. So you can have a magic fire hammer, which is stupid with this attack. So you're doing damage, physical, magic, and fire, all stacking on top of each other. I could have really wrecked that boss before, but I just chose to show you guys the halberds and stuff and some of the diversity. Here's a couple of my favorite weapons. I do like Sword Dance. The weapon art makes the weapon. That's my favorite curved sword. There's the twin blades, which are absolutely nuts, completely insane. Putting spinning slash on these with a heavy build, nuts. You'll kill everything. There's nothing that can live. We have, let's see, the Claymore. We have the Great Ipe, so a dex weapon that's good with strength. It's insane. It's insane. This build is nuts. It's all about how you infuse your weapons, or what weapon arts you put on them, and then what scaling you give them. Heavy is definitely the best. Even whenever I have on my 500, me and my friends have gone through with every other armor set, and physical just comes out on top. And the only other thing that beats in physical when you're max level is quality. But when you're low level, strength, because quality doesn't cut it. Strength is so OP. It just gives you so much defense, that being able to dual wield ultras, being able to just smack around everything, the fire maces. But there's another thing to this build. So if you've watched to the end of this video, you're gonna see my prize part about this build. This is technically a secondary build. It's technically a fire build. Because when it comes to fire and lightning and fire both scale with dex and strength. But one scales more prioritized towards strength and one scales more towards dex. So if I was doing a dex build, I would actually have lightning also. But with a strength build, you can have fire. Now, you can always add the greases and do other elements, but fire scales so well. That's why I have a fire dagger. That's why I have, this fire twin blade, the fire knight's great sword. They're good weapons. They're extremely good weapons, and they all scale primarily with their strength. And they're doing an element, like they're doing an elemental damage. Fire art, that's why I don't like fire art as much. It only works once you're up to a really high level, because you can pour more into stats. But this is a good PvP character. Another thing, for my magic build that I'll do later, you can use Radigan's Soar Seal and Scar Seals. You can use the levels they give you in those stats that are useless, and you can pull from the 15 levels it gives you and put it into a different stat. So like, you can put it into strength. You can take the 5 health free levels that Radigan Scar Seal gives you and put it into something else. And that's how you balance out your character. You can also do that with what would be considered like I can't remember what they're called. I think they're Scorpion Talismans. They give you like more enhanced lightning damage. So you can actually do the math and cut back the levels that it gives you in order to pour into something else. You could pull the faith, the intelligence, and the arcane that Marika's Source Seal gives you, the 15 free levels, and you could actually pull from those and put those into into your health or into your strength. You can do whatever you can. There's a lot of open-mindedness to this, and I'll go through it with other parts of the video, but I figured I would show you guys this stuff. It's a lot of fun. I can even use Uchi Katana doing 600 AR, pure physical, 6.5. Onikiri, or not Onikiri, the Nagakiba, having twice the amount of range and still having Unsheath on it, it's OP as shit. This is my favorite build. This is absolutely the God ultimate strength build. There's nothing that can really beat this when it comes to strength. So I hope you guys did like this. I will do more builds and stuff like that. So if you guys did, please, as the guy shows, hit the like and subscribe button, and have a great day, guys. Peace out.